someone who is addicted to her gratitude practice, if you write down that first thing of what you're grateful for, and then you get to that second or third one, it becomes an avalanche.
Yeah.
And you are just writing, like, oh, I forgot about this, I forgot about that, I forgot about this. And it literally, like attracts like. Then all of a sudden, you are just looking
for happy things, good things.
For happy things, and they start coming to you, like, oh, I forgot about that. That happened out of nowhere. Hey there, welcome to Entrepreneurs with Heart. I'm Adria.
And I'm Sydney, and we're here to help you build a rock-solid business so that you can kiss that 9-to-5 goodbye and turn your side hustle into your dream job.
So, if you're looking for down-to-earth advice from someone who's actually grown a business from scratch to 7 figures, you're in the right place.
We've got the scoop on everything from growing your online presence, nailing email marketing, and even how to build your team without losing your mind.
Right? Plus, we'll dive into content marketing, website hacks, social media tricks, getting more traffic, staying productive, basically everything you need to know to grow your business without going back to school.
So, if you're ready to take the leap and make your side hustle your full-time gig, hit that follow button and let's get this journey started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entrepreneurs with Heart, because
we have them.
And so do you.
Sydney, it's 2025.
I know.
This is our second episode where we'll be talking about books that we've read.
I know. We've been on a self-help book kick.
We have been kicking it. It's been good. I'm enjoying these books and the theme of manifestation and vision boarding. It's been really good.
Yes. And today we're going to be talking about our thoughts on Ask and It Is Given.
Ask and It Is Given. Now, it's a great book. Let's pop up the book on the screen so everybody can see.
Yes, yes.
It was so good. I enjoyed it. So the reason, I think I started reading this one first. Mm-hmm. And I started reading this one after I started reading The Secret, specifically because I'm a Christian, spoiler, and I wanted to make sure that the theories and thoughts behind manifestation and visualization lined up with the Bible. And so that was why I went on the hunt for finding a book that kind of tied those two together. So that was my purpose behind it. Yep. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I have notes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you share? I also enjoyed the book a lot. I would listen to it when I was in the shower every single day until I finished it.
Did you?
Yes, I loved it. And I love the action items that they give you to work through certain things. I think that was probably my favorite part.
Same.
And there's like a part 2 of the book where you get to get all those juicy little action items.
Yeah. Were there any certain action items that really resonated with you?
I think one that really resonated with me, and it'll always stick with me till the end of time, or the end of my time, which is the what if one, where instead of and it really helps because for me, I have diagnosed anxiety, so a lot of times it can be easy to just go down this negative rabbit hole, or just worry so much. And so the what if is it's just changing your framework to say, what if this goes well? What if I get this? What if I do this? And it brings out this sort of dopamine hit where you just sort of are filled with curiosity and almost excitement to see what will unfold and all the positive things that can unfold. So when you're thinking negatively about things, well, what if it goes well?
Right.
Right. And it's just so simple, but even just talking about it makes me smile because it's simple, but I think it really works.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah. So that's what I feel like.
And kind of along those lines, I like the idea, how we set intentions often for the day. I like the idea of setting intentions for different parts of the day as well. Here's what I'm going to get accomplished. And just being that, it's all about that energy. So it's all about energy, lining up your frequency and positive thinkings and being excited for what you're about to do. So kind of along the same lines. Yeah. So I'm a tactical person. So what I really, really liked a lot, my favorite part was the emotional guidance scale.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
That is so good. So it literally puts your
the different emotions scaled.
I'm talking about it differentiates between joy, passion, enthusiasm, positive expectation, optimism, hopefulness. So you may be lumping all those into one, but it really teases apart each one.
Yeah.
And then even down to when you are gradually getting into the dark side, right? Mm-hmm. So I love it so much because it's a fine line between contentment and boredom, and it teases those apart: contentment, boredom, pessimism, frustration. Mm-hmm. And so when you are feeling a certain type of way, you can check in with yourself every day or throughout the day, like, how am I feeling? And then just trying to move the needle just up one. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm bored. Let me shift that to content. Mm-hmm. Right?
It's almost like, I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
Almost reminds me of, like, I think it was in a Mel Robbins podcast. I think she was probably in somebody else's podcast. Mm-hmm. Where she was saying how almost like, what's it, like, you know, that fear before going on a roller coaster can also be excitement.
Yes, like, right.
How, like, those feeling. How those feelings can feel the same, but be completely different. So it's also finding the positive version of that feeling.
Exactly.
Not all anxiety is negative anxiety. Sometimes it's anxious to see the good thing that'll happen. That can go into excitement.
Exactly. So really checking in with yourself to see exactly how you're feeling.
And how you can change it into something better and more
exactly.
Positive. And I like how you mentioned, like, moving the needle, and how you mentioned that even moving it up just a little bit
is helpful.
And
I think unless I'm making this up, I think in the book that it said that it was kind of easy to move the ship up to 4. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to go from, like, it's going to be more difficult to go from pessimism to joy, right? Mm-hmm. But you can go from pessimism to hopefulness and kind of guide yourself through that a little bit at a time. Yeah, and it takes pressure off. Like, so I don't need to go from pessimism to joy, but can I go from pessimism to boredom? Right? What would it take for me to go from pessimism to boredom? Mm-hmm. And then let me sit there a minute. And then boredom to contentment. Mm-hmm. Sit there a minute. And it makes it a lot easier to bite up a little bit of that elephant than to try to move the needle all the way up. It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. You know, I always want to be, and like sometimes you don't want to be joyful. Like, maybe my goal right now is not to be joyful. Maybe I'll be happy just being content right now. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just get there. Mm-hmm. So what I like, this reminds me of a lot, is the body scan, how you kind of check in with each body part.
Yes, that's your favorite thing.
I love the body scan so much. But like, really to tune in with yourself and see, how am I really feeling? And like you were saying, that's when it becomes a lot, like when a lot of these books talk about mindfulness and positive thinking and manifestation, it's a lot about tuning in with how you're feeling and tying in actions that make you feel a certain way. And so, like, to really deeply understand how you're feeling, the bonus points, and you can understand why you're feeling what you're feeling, it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's also just really, like you said, knowing why you're feeling how you're feeling it. And also it helps you document your journey throughout everything too, which I think is really, really cool. And I also really just enjoy, I guess it's really just the same thing that you were saying, the self-awareness that can come out of it. Mm-hmm. And also, I think the book just in general helped me be grateful for, like, the little things.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
How there's just, like, the small things that thinking about the small things can help just lift up your positivity. So it's like, okay, maybe you're not where you want to be. Almost like there was this thing with the $100 bill. Did you
remember? Tell me.
There was this exercise with the $100 bill that you put a $100 bill in. I know we all walk around with, like, no cash these days, but the idea was to put a $100 bill in your wallet, and you just walk around and think about all things that you can afford.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts you on that frequency of, like, of being able, of, like, not feeling like, not that scarcity mindset. You're like, okay, like, if I went to this store, I could totally afford a pair of jeans.
Right.
Or if I went to this one, I could totally afford a cup of coffee.
Right.
Like, so you're not just, like, stuck in this thought of, like, scarcity, but in this thought of, like, abundance, and that you have it, you have what you need. So I think that's been really cool, the tools that they have, the different lessons that they have for you to, like, help shift your mindset.
Yeah.
And also, again, it's just the little things. Like, I think we forget all the things that we do currently have in our lives that are working out for us, and being able to focus on those, like, things, even if it's small. Even if it's just, like, having a roof over your head is a really great thing to have. You know what I mean? Having food to eat is a really great thing to have. Being grateful that you get to breathe fresh air, that you live around a bunch of trees, or that you're able-bodied enough to like walk somewhere is a great thing to have. So I think this book really honed in on on gratitude.
It did. It was really big on gratitude, which the secret is what I loved about this book is that it took a lot of those thoughts from The Secret and put those into action, like practical tips on how to do those. Because The Secret really talked about gratitude as well. They didn't give you much of like the tools, but this one dug into that more. And I will say, as someone who is addicted to her gratitude practice, like there are still some days I'm like, because I have it written down on my task list. I just talk you be grateful, and there's sometimes I just want to I'm just ready to go to bed or whatever. But what I love about it is that it's addictive. If you write down that first thing of what you're grateful for, and then you get to that second or third one, it becomes an avalanche, and you are just writing like, oh, I forgot about this, I forgot about that, I forgot about this. And it literally like attracts like, which it talks about a lot. Like get yourself on that frequency, then all of a sudden you are just looking
for happy things, good things.
For happy things, and they start coming to you. Like, oh, I forgot about that. That happened out of nowhere. And what a great place to be in. So I've started doing I need to balance this out more. Maybe I do it twice a day, but I've started to really enjoy my gratitude practice at night a lot. You know, really take that moment to reflect over the day and just really pulling out those positive things that happen. What a great way to go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great way to just live. To be able to live in a way where you can just be grateful for things. Because I think there's a lot of times where we're so focused on our goals and what we want to be that we forget there's so much beauty in the journey and in our now, and also just beauty and reflection. I think that's also really nice to think about, because a lot of times, I know this is getting off topic, but I feel like it's a conversation. A lot of times I'll be so focused, I'm like, oh, like I wish maybe I wish I had more subscribers on YouTube, even though like I have almost 2,000, which is really good for me, especially if you're starting in like 6 months ago. I'm really happy about that. But like, or I wish I had more orders or like all these things, right? And I think about like your girl, like just a couple of years ago, I was like really wanting to start subscriptions, and now I get it. You know what I mean? So it's just like little things that that are there that you should be grateful for, because you've grown so much just from a couple of years ago to now.
And you know what, on that note too, I keep bringing this up and we talk about these sorts of things, but you were terrified to make a YouTube video not too long ago.
I was terrified to start subscriptions.
Yeah,
that was scary. I'm like, oh my goodness, why nobody signs up?
Right. And crazy too, like that's the thing, are you afraid of nothing terrible would happen, just a hit to your ego.
And you just let somebody know, nobody signed up, but not everybody's not gonna. This is why I was so happy to start a Patreon, because Patreon will tell you how, like, will show it to the public.
Yeah, right. No one loves you.
No one likes you. Oh my god! But I think with regular subscriptions, like no one has to know.
Yeah,
like, you know, I mean, no one has to know. Although I do tell people I have the main channel. I have 4 people now. It's pretty lit. Dude. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. But like, but in those moments, you gotta think, what if it goes really well? Yeah. Sometimes it really is just about like
your
mindset, in which it touches on a lot.
Yeah,
just like how to, because like again, even with the what if, that's just a shift in mindset.
It's just a shift in mindset.
Well, what if it does happen for you?
Right.
If like I feel like the courage that we need to just do the things that we are dreaming of doing is just that shift in mindset of like, what if it goes really, really well? Right. What if this changes my life?
Yeah.
So yeah, this book, it was really great to read, just like or listen to in the shower. You got to get over the little robotic voice.
You got to get over it.
But he got a little sass to him.
It's a great book, and it's one that I wouldn't have found unless, and I had to go hunting for it. But I'm so glad.
Yeah, it had so many gems, so many examples, like scenarios of like how these situations, how these mindsets have benefited
other people.
Kind of like The Secret, but mostly focusing on the 2 people that wrote Esther and
what's his name?
Abraham
Mm-hmm.
and Esther.
Yeah.
So like showing how their examples through life of how these mindsets have benefited them.
That was great.
Yeah.
So good.
I highly recommend the book. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I think that's it. You guys should definitely check that one out. It's a good one. I recommend reading The Secret 1st and then hitting this one up because it helps you put it into action.
It really does. And I just love the action items that it has because they're just things that you can just like have in your toolkit, your mental toolkit, to sort of get yourself out of the negative funk or whatever you may be feeling, or your anxious funk. And it also just helps you remember that you're capable of anything, and everything can go the way that you really want it to go to if you just allow it to, right?
Yeah.
If you stop holding yourself back, which I think a lot of us hold ourselves back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you
next
in the next time, their next book club meeting.
I like our book club.
I do like our book club. Let us know if you read the book, any like takeaways that you have had that we have missed, because the book is pretty like information packed, full of things. So yeah. All right.
Until next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurs with Heart. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment below and let us know what your takeaway was. Or if you're listening, take a screenshot and share it on social media with your takeaway. If you would like to leave us a review, head over to your favorite podcast app and give us a 5-star rating. This will help us reach more small business owners like yourself, and your feedback helps others find our show.